Hey everyone, welcome to FMA Talk Live. I'm your host, Datu Tim, and this is my wonderful co-host.
PG Ties there, everyone. Welcome.
Okay, we've got our guest in the wings, so we'll be bringing him in a moment. Hey, how was your weekend, sir?
Hanging in there. It was actually pretty good. I got a little more rest.
Good. I taught a spear seminar in Pontoon over in Ohio, which went over well.
Nice.
Our guest doesn't have a lot of time, so I'm going to hit my rant real quick because I always have a rant. But please, before we do anything, subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification button, and share this video wherever you feel appropriate. So my rant, I was driving around. I talked about this words matter and hypocrisy. I just want to hit the hypocrisy thing. So I'm a very polarizing person. Grew up in a military and law enforcement family in a blue-collar town. I just say what I think. And Buffalo's kind of that kind of mindset. So when we do things, we are a matter of fact. It's not about trying to bust people's chops, although we enjoy busting people's chops. I understand because of the things I say that a lot of times people will hold me accountable to things. So if I make a comment saying that I was I had the only full-time Modernist Academy at the time of Remy's passing. Well, that information is there. I've produced more black belts for Remy than anyone else has. All right, let's go through the numbers. Let's play, And I understand when I make a statement like this, a statement, not a comment, that people are going to hold me accountable. But I don't cry foul when someone asks me to prove what I'm talking about. The hypocrisy is when people make unqualified statements out there, the ones that are pointing the fingers, and when you ask them to validate something or verify something, then they cry foul. So that was my thing this weekend. That's the short-term version of it. Mr. Wolf is here, who from Columbus, Ohio, or Mount Gilead, north of Columbus. He was the host for this weekend's event. How you doing? All right. So listen. So Jon Braeley is the head of Empty Mind. Hopefully I pronounced it right. Head of Empty Mind Films. How long ago was it? Like 6 years ago? 7 years ago?
Something like that. That sounds
something
right.
Like that.
Yeah.
I get a phone call, an email, and we start a dialogue. Say, hey, I want to come with you to the Philippines. I'm like, okay, for what? Martial arts. We're gonna want to film stuff. Oh, great. And so I went and I said, I can introduce you to people. No. We want to follow you around and watch what you're doing. So this documentary / movie, I think, is one of, if not the best one out there, because I also look at the video production quality. So I'm a little partialist. Ty was part of this trip as well. I want Ty to kind of take point on this because there's a couple questions I'm going to have for Jon that I never really asked him. And I know, and you've got you were there. You join, and I'm watching him in the background here. Yeah, Jon got pissed off at Ty all the time, and I'll bring him in for this. Hold on, I'll bring him in.
Don't remember
because
that.
Ty wore a shirt that popped in everyone's wearing black except for Ty. He's wearing neon orange, neon green, neon yellow.
Yeah. It was that son of a...
Oh, that's Ty. God damn. Jon, how are you doing, sir?
You know something about that shirt? It's not the first time it's happened.
Oh.
I had an assistant. He turned up with a neon lime green polo neck, polo shirt. So
because it's cooler in the heat. So yeah,
it flares up in the cameras. That's what happens.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yep.
Yeah.
So listen, and with so Jon is the president of Empty Mind Films.
Yeah.
And right now, look below his name. There is a link. I put that up there for you, Jon, because I don't know if you use StreamYard.
No, I never used this before.
Yeah, I put it up there. So Fighting Sticks of Arnis, which if you look at the spine of the DVD, it will, if you get the DVD, it'll also say Fighting Sticks of, wait for it, Modern Arnis. I think it's one of, I've watched The Bladed Hand. I've watched a Escribidor or whatever. And then The King's Blade. That was a mockumentary, not a documentary. Yeah. I've watched all these things. By far, besides my involvement, I really, this is my favorite video that's out there. So, Jon, thank you for making this happen. And
including thank you. Without you, I wouldn't have been there. So,
let me start off with the thing, because I never asked you this. Of all the people in the world to ask, why would you ask me to follow me around? I mean, how did that come about?
I think it came about because you were going to the FM. Was it
Right.
FMA? Is that the festival?
Yeah.
And you were the guy that everybody pointed me to
Okay.
from the States, from America, that would be going there.
Okay.
Um,
Usually they're pointing guns at me or something or sticks,
Yeah.
but I mean,
yeah. So that's how it came about, really.
cool.
And happily enough, you said okay, let's do it. You know.
So Steve Benko says hello, and then Terrell,
Yeah.
Richardson,
Hey, Daryl.
another.
Mr.
He's
Richardson, yeah, sure.
Terrell's one of the guys that represents Riddell de Guck, one of the people you got to meet on our trip.
Yeah.
So Ty, why don't you take point right now?
Well, sure, yeah. It's great seeing you again, by the way.
Good to see you, Ty.
I remember when I first showed up there, it was just you and I, right? Because they were delayed, or I got there early, or something.
I think so.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I always get a couple of days in front anyway, just
that's
to
smart.
settle down, get the camera equipment.
Yeah.
What was unusual about this trip to the Philippines was I've been doing this for about before the Philippines shoot. I've been on the road for 20 years.
Wow.
China, I lived in China for 5 years, Japan, and I always have a film crew of about 3 or 4 people.
Right.
But first of all, I usually need a translator. You know, in China, I need a guide. My Japanese isn't so great, even though I lived there for a year. So I need So I've always got 2 or 3 people. But the great thing about this trip to the Philippines, I didn't really need anybody. You know, we had all the crew, your team, and most people in the Philippines speak English, which is fantastic.
Right.
That's what's such a great thing about the country as well.
Yeah, I remember being surprised. It was just you, and I'm like, how's that going to work out?
Yeah.
Yeah, we put Evan to work.
That's right. Evan,
Well, I think we did. I did, Evan. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Here we go.
He was great.
Here's Terrell. I have many Arnis documentaries, but I must say, Fighting Sticks of Arnis was awesome.
Thank you.
It's not was, it is.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It still is.
Yeah.
No, people are still posting clips of it as they do interviews and whatever, and I'm sure they're floating that through you. I hope. But anyway, it's also good exposure, right? So
It became one of our top-selling documentaries. I got to tell you guys.
There we go.
excellent.
Hey,
Seriously.
and here's the thing too, because I remember everything. I don't always remember it when I need to. I remember because this documentary was a lot different from Jon, because what Jon made a point of telling me, what he's used to going someplace and setting up camp.
Yeah.
We were on the run every 2 days. We were going to a new location and pack up, go back. I think we almost left your camera in Cebu.
Yeah.
because the 3 a.m. not enough coffee going.
Yeah. That's true.
It was an
That
adventure.
was fun. It's part of the fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, nothing was left behind, nor was any person. So that was the best part.
So when you were working on this, so I know when you came up with the idea, and we visited a little bit to catch up on things, I forget what we talked about, but I'm pretty sure I asked you what the question that Tim already asked you, which was, how'd you pick him? But even beyond that, what made you wanted to then go, let's do some FMA? I know you maybe hadn't done it by then, but still, what was
No, I mean, well, FMA, the Philippines was always on my bucket list of martial arts.
Okay.
Had to be. And I'd just really been waiting for the opportunity, and when it didn't arise, I would just go film another martial art.
Sure.
That's what I would do. I think it was about at least 12 years ago, I decided to start looking at, modern Arnis or a screamer. I'll go to the Philippines. And, but we just kept, I would just slot another movie in there instead until the right time came. And that's what we do. You've got to have a lot of patience in this business, and you just, don't try to force something. I remember I was making a movie on Muay Thai. I've been trying to make this movie for 4 years. I finally get to make the movie. I got the permission from the World Muay Thai Boxing Council in Bangkok. I got all the permission. You have to get permission over there to enter the arenas. And I bought my plane tickets. I had the film crew, and then the hurricane hit. The monsoon in Thailand.
Yep.
And that was it. Done.
Ouch.
I never made the movie.
Oh, okay.
Well, most of the places I was going to got destroyed. We were going to a Muay Thai camp that was on the beach, and they all got so went back. So you just wait, wait until the time, and this happened with us.
There you go.
Well, here we go.
Blintock Street.
Blintock Street, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's Grandmaster Bobby, you and I. It was that every trip to the Philippines has been special for me, but that one I was extra because, modern Arnis has strong Blintock roots if you learned it in the right era. And Professor Praces opened the door for me to work with Ted Buat, who was the chosen successor, but hold on. The chosen successor for Anchan Bakan, but it wasn't what he wanted to do. This guy was an engineer, went to the States, still taught, but Remy opened the door for me to work with Ted Buat, and to go to Blintock Street. I mean, so I've been to Manila. I've been to the gym where Ernesto trained out of Remy's brother, which may have also been the gym that Remy had owned at one time. I've been to all these places, but Blintock Street was nice because this is where Remy went to train. This is how and where Blintock started. Mm-hmm. It was just, I felt like, I remember I grew up watching old, when they started doing all the TV shows, the miniseries, and they did Roots. So when Alex Haley found Kunta Kinte, it was like, I found Lapu Lapu, but obviously I found Anchan Bakan. So, but it was cool. I liked it. We were heading there, and I'm just glad that Jon was there to share that with us, because
it was great.
Yeah,
it was a great moment. It really didn't disappoint. It's because I think when you find the root of a place, that the source of a martial, you want it to be so real, the smells of the street, the food, the people, because martial arts is the martial art of the people. It's the people on the street. It doesn't belong to a higher class. It belongs to the bottom class, the working man, the working class.
The people.
Martial arts came out of that, and so it didn't disappoint. Blintock was exactly where I really wanted it to be.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
I didn't want a modern office block.
Well, I wanted to go back just a little bit, if you don't mind. So, people may not know your background or how you got interested in this, or, people might not know that you have a wide martial arts background yourself, very deep. So I was wondering if you might do a quick overview of, first, I assume that you started martial arts first and then got into this, doing some of these films and things. So can you sort of walk us through that and tell us some highlights?
I started when I was 15 doing martial arts.
Great.
I'm probably a little bit like Master Tim here. You call it blue collar. In England, we call it working class.
Right.
So I came from north of England, Sheffield, really working class.
Okay.
I grew up in the late 50s, 1960s. Very, very tough neighborhood, full of skinheads out there in the gangs.
Right.
So I started karate when I was 15. And, karate, just never stopped, really. I did some Aikido, mainly all Japanese martial arts.
Okay.
I did Tai Chi for 2 years in my 20s, and even went to Hong Kong to train in Tai Chi. That's after I got my black belt in karate. I got my black belt in Shotokan 21 years after 5 years. I was 21. Today I'm a 6th degree. Nice. I don't really say much about my martial arts background. If you noticed on the trip with you guys, I never really said anything.
Right.
That's just, humble, not just really being humble, but it's sometimes best to get the best out of people as a documentary filmmaker, that I don't bother inserting my martial arts into the whole thing,
Sure. I just thought it was important to ask that, just because I think that, it takes a martial artist to appreciate martial arts in general. It's not your style.
I came back from the dojo from teaching 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah. And Frank Shikowski says hello from Connecticut. How you doing, Frank?
Hey, Frank.
Hi.
There
Hi.
we go.
It sounds like you recognize some of these names too, John, which is cool.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Sure.
excellent.
Yeah. It's nice to hear some of the old names.
Right.
Richardson and all that in there. It's great.
So I assume with your starting out in Japanese mainly, martial arts, that's probably where your first films sort of progressed through.
In the year in 2001, which is about 22 years ago now. Yeah. Sure. Started going. I really started going back to the people I already knew. A lot of my instructors were Japanese. My main instructor was Kanazawa, and people from the JKA in Japan. And also I had 1 or 2 contacts at the Aikido dojo, the main Hombu dojo there in Japan. So that's where I started. But I was a little bit overly ambitious with the first movie, which we actually called The Empty Mind, because I wanted to mix in the Chinese martial arts and blend them all together in one movie.
Wow, yeah.
Which the purists really don't like.
Right.
Japanese martial arts guys don't want to know about kung fu and tai chi and all this stuff. But I went ahead and did that. We put them all into one movie, and it was fun.
And so then that opened up some interest to branch out to maybe some of the other areas that you eventually started on.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the second movie, believe it was really, we decided to make a movie on Zen Buddhism, Zen in Japan. I was just looking for things that interested me at the time.
Perfect.
Okay.
Not really looking for a career in doing martial arts movies per se, but just my interests,
Okay.
And I've always been interested in the spirit, not just the spiritual side, the mental side.
Sure.
Is to me a big factor that a lot of people don't talk about in martial arts at all, because it's difficult to talk about the mental side, and that's why I called the movie company The Empty Mind, And,
so Jason Farnsworth says hello from Columbus, Ohio area.
Jason.
And Tara Richardson has a question here. What was the motivation? What motivation that made John want to do the documentary on FMA, and does he study FMA? So,
a little.
You do a little. Okay, good. That's cool. That's cool.
Yes.
Better than none.
Yes.
And then what? Okay, so I know you said earlier it was on your bucket list, so some of the guys, they don't always get to log in right when we start.
Right.
Was there what appealed to you about Filipino martial arts that made you want to do a documentary? Because there's a lot of arts out there that you haven't done documentaries on. So what spoke to you?
Not too many. I mentioned that we had the Muay Thai in our radar, that kind of failed. But most of my background is in traditional martial arts. I look for martial arts that have a history and a good history, a solid history. And for example, I never did a documentary on Taekwondo, right?
Okay.
It's a sport to me.
Okay.
A fairly shallowish kind of history. It came out of, Shotokan and everything. And I never did a documentary on the Brazilian sort of capoeira. Now, I'm interested in, maybe Brazilian jiu-jitsu would be something to look at. But I've always really gone for traditional martial arts that have roots in Asia, and that tell a story.
Okay.
And I think the Philippines, it checks all the boxes,
Nice.
It's got a great history, great background, of how it began, and just the people. I think the Filipino people were one of the biggest factors.
Sure.
And drawn to the people. I think I'd go back in a heartbeat. I thought the Philippines was absolutely fantastic.
All right. And then we have Coach Danny Terrell says hello. He's from Martin Creek State Park, Texas at the moment. He's all over the place.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
He's on walkabout at the moment.
Yep.
So
very skilled multi-type person himself. He would be interesting.
Well, you know, one of the key things about going to the Philippines was we mentioned that I was pleasantly surprised that most people spoke English, which is, you know, really, really changes, you know, things when you, as a documentary filmmaker.
Sure.
It really, really is great. And then they're so friendly.
Right.
You know, they're so friendly, especially when you are used to, you know, filming in Japan. You know, I mean, Japanese people are friendly, but they have this huge firewall of etiquette
Right.
and rightfulness and the right way to be, and they can never really tell you what they're really thinking. You know,
No, you want an open, you know, and make sure it's open. So yeah, that
Yeah.
very welcoming for that kind of thing. Yeah.
Open dialogue and all the people that we met and all the people that you know, Datu Tim introduced me to were fantastic.
Mhm.
You know, welcoming. I mean, look at Master Bobby Taboada. You know, Bobby. I mean, I don't know if you know this. What happened recently with part of the filming I did with Master Bobby? Do you know what happened?
No.
On YouTube? I hope you guys are sitting down, right?
Oh, I'm sitting.
Well, about 2 months ago, I uploaded a clip from the Philippine trip.
Right.
Bobby, it's a 22-second clip, 22 seconds long. This clip, and I just took it from the movie. We already had trailers out there of the movie and everything, and the movie's already 6 years old now. So I put this clip on to what they call the shorts.
Right.
Yes.
On Instagram, they're called well, I never bothered doing shorts before because I'm a long filmmaker, you know.
Gotcha.
An hour is a short movie for me. You know? We tell stories. So I decided what would be a good clip for a short. Well, 22 seconds with Bobby. You know, would you like me to tell you how many views it got?
I'm going to say 100,000.
Millions.
I'm going to tell you 23 million.
Yep. Shorts do amazing well. It's really weird.
23 million in two months.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you know, Bobby's he's a hot commodity right now.
Yes.
He is the face of FMA right now. He's our ambassador, I should say.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know, I'd say that, you know, it probably yeah. I mean, when we're talking about videos or I mean seminars, he's the guy doing this stuff right now. But
well, here it is. Can you see from behind me at all?
I can see some of it.
Some of it, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I did see that one because
that's actually the clip, the 22-second clip on YouTube.
Somebody shared that, so I did see that. I just didn't see it.
You have seen it?
Yep.
And it's very fast and very quick, last 22 seconds. So
and Neil, looks like Neil there.
So a good friend of mine, Jack Latour, he did this Global Carenza project, which is all about the stick twirling and the dancing.
Right.
And he puts all this time and effort. He goes to me, you know, I put something up on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube because you take the same piece and reformat it for all, you know, you can reuse it. And something I just did in like 10, 15 seconds is getting 10,000 views without putting any effort in it. Now, Jack does this great job of editing and all this other stuff, but he might get 300 to 600 views. I'm like, Jack, you know, people don't have the shorts are the way to get people the hooks.
The subscribers,
yeah. Now, didn't you just recently get a YouTube award as well?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, I got a big plaque, a big,
very good,
shiny, you know. But well, we do it. You know, I mean, I do the movies for a living.
I hear you, but it's still nice to get other recognition.
So,
yeah. Brian says hello. He's from the Erie, PA area. And then here's a good friend of ours, Dean Franco from FMA Talk here.
Yep.
He's actually FMA Discussion. That's an inside joke with us.
Right. He's supposed to be the new me, right?
Well, that's what we talked about. Dean was all like, hey, you know, maybe Ty won't be able to come back because he filled in really well for you while you were gone.
He did, yes. That was good.
You know, listen, so I get this call from Jon, or one way or another. I'm not sure it's a call or emails.
Yeah.
I get a communication going. He tells me he wants to come along. I say, hey, listen, I'll introduce you to people. No. We want to follow you around. This was like, but different. It was like, what was it? Fighting Arts Human Weapon or Fight Sport or something like that, where those two guys were traveling around and they were fighting.
Okay. Yeah.
So we were like this, but for those who haven't seen it, completely different, because that was their personal journey.
Yeah.
And it was about the fight. This was neat because even though, I mean, really, I'm going to, and you can correct me. I think everyone who's been part of it would see how it came. This was Tim's trip to the Philippines. That's what the film was. But it wasn't about Tim. It was about the trip. And that's the cool thing. It's like, you did all this stuff, and every now and then I'd say, hey, what's going on? And here's Tim with a whole new, we're meeting at the vendors, and look, we're meeting all old friends, and hey, we go and do all this, and we go all do that. So it was my trip, but it was not about me. It was about the trip. And I think that was the cool part, because it wasn't overpowered being, it's all about Tim, because sometimes when you do that, you miss all the stuff. And really, I was, when we first talked about it, I didn't even think I was going to be in the documentary. I just thought I was bringing Jon around to introduce him to people. And I'm like, come on. No, you'll be part of it. Really? Okay, whatever.
Well, we used you in certain locations because it was a great way to introduce the locations and everything. But there's a great deal of really great Filipino martial arts in the movie. I think that's what.
It's amazing. I mean,
comes through.
And you've got one of the last footage of Vincent Sanchez, who passed away. He was the gentleman in yellow doing the stuff in Luneta Park.
Yes, in Luneta, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
remember that on the street, yeah.
Let me see. We did Panantukan. We
oh, look.
Oh, you're wearing a shirt. There you go.
Great T-shirt.
It is a good shirt.
I'm wearing it specially for tonight.
So we landed. So we had like a 3-hour delay or 5-hour delay in Detroit. We get there. These guys are already there. I had already set up a training session at our hotel. So the documentary was not put together in the timeline that we were there, but it didn't matter because it was just all about all the information. Move forward, go backwards, move forward, go backwards, and it was done phenomenal. Yeah. But the cool thing was,
that's where the editing comes in. You know, the movie.
I thought it was phenomenal. Matt Jones says hello from Connecticut, and then Craig Mason, whose son we put to work. He was at the trip with us.
Evan, how is Evan?
Oh, he's actually doing very well now. Got his own place, getting ready to get his. He's working in the mine. Well, he's an electrician. He's still training martial arts with us. He's one of our third guys, if I'm not mistaken. Great. So, but we landed. We had that training session at our hotel. Then where we go?
That was the guy Ronnie, right?
Ronnie. Yep. Then we met everyone in Luneta Park because the festival was meeting there. Yeah. We didn't go to the festival. Right. We went to the Philippines. I don't go to the festival because I don't want to sit in one spot. I'm not a resort kind of guy. And I don't fault anyone for wanting to be the resort type of person. But I want to go see the Philippines. Right. So we were in Manila for a couple of days. We went down to Cavite and did Kuntao with Grandmaster Unyo Lanata. Then we shot over to Cebu, met up with Bobby Tabuada. Yeah. We met up with Nick Elazar. We went to see where
Sticks was really great.
We went to where Magellan fought Lapu Lapu.
Yeah.
We then went to Balinswalk Street. Then we
don't forget the fish place.
The fish place, yep.
Yes. We got the fresh fish.
There we go. And then we end up taking a ferry over to Dumaguete, which is on the southern part of Negros.
Yeah.
We left you at the festival. Then we went up to visit Roberto Preces because that was a family thing we wanted to do on our own.
I didn't go.
Spent 2 days there. He did a whole bunch of filming at the festival. Yeah. Then we came back down, did the festival. So we did a couple days at the festival, and then I forgot I think it wrapped up at the festival first, and then we started heading home. Then we ended up in Luneta in the morning with Grandmaster Riddell. Oh no, we went out to Batangas because we went to visit Riddell de Guck's place.
We went
So
to
he made sticks
Smoking
for us.
Sticks.
And then we
That was
trained
good.
with them on the Sunday, and then we did
Yeah.
Lynetta at night, which is
Right.
well, it's Lynetta at night.
Sunday night, I think that was right. That was
All
great.
right.
Good
And then
memory,
Darren
though.
from Philadelphia says hello. Hello, Darren.
Hi. Well, you see, if go back to this thing with Lynetta, right? There's nowhere like this.
No.
You know, there's nowhere like this. And I've done martial arts in every country that exists martial arts. You know, where the roots. You know, Japan, China, and all different places as well. Indonesia and all sorts of places. You know, but Lynetta is really special that you can go and just that's it. Take your sticks, just go and practice, and find a teacher, find an instructor, right? And they'll welcome you. You don't have to really have an introduction. Am I right about that? You can just
you know, if you're a foreigner, I don't know what they do for the Filipinos,
Right.
but for us, you know, everyone's like, "Oh, come and train with us, hang out," you know.
Right.
So it's a good thing, you know.
But you know what? My advice. It's funny when I put the trailer up about 5 or 6 years ago for you know, the Arnis movie, and one of the questions, how can I go over there? And I actually just answered, well, just go to Lynetta Park at the weekend and walk around, you know.
There you go.
Make some contacts.
And just ask around and find a good instructor. And there's so many.
Yep.
You know, it's very unique to the martial arts world.
So have you ever done any other movies like that where you were not in mainly one place, or you know, where you're traveling as much during the movie?
Yeah, I mean, I've traveled around. I did
during the movie.
Well, specifically one movie in 2010 or 2009 was on the Japanese sword.
Okay, so you went around.
Because we actually traveled literally every part of Japan. Excellent. From top to bottom, because all the sword we filmed the swordsmiths. Excellent. The people in the forges, and they're not allowed to forge a katana, a Japanese sword, in a city. They have to be in the countryside by law, because they always catch fire.
Oh, okay.
You know, they burn down here.
Right.
I don't know if you know this, but the Japanese are paranoid about fire.
Right.
You know, because of for obvious reasons. Second World War. You know, everything's made of wood over there, and so we're in the countryside all over Japan. So we had to rent a car and drive around Japan, countrysides, for weeks and weeks, and so that's kind of a similar kind of thing, you know, that we're talking about anyway. So, but normally I'm usually fairly in one place. You go to China, it's sometimes traveling in China, but generally, like I go to Shaolin Temple quite a bit, and you can see behind me now. Look, can you see some?
Oh yeah.
This is Shaolin Temple. So I'm there, and I'll spend quite a while there. You know, a few weeks or whatever. I'll go to Wudang Mountain, which is another big center place for martial arts.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a guy who is a stalker of ours here. So he wants the next movie, Fighting Arts of Detroit. That's what he's thinking to do. And now that they've brought attention to him, he's not. Now
he's going to keep going. So before he does that,
sarcasm. Our show is really very, very laid back and relaxed. So when I got to say this, because you know I got sidetracked during the conversation. When Jon first talked to me, he sent me a bunch of DVDs. Those are video things that you put in your computer, for those who don't know what a DVD is. And my God, I mean, you sent like 3 or 4, and the production quality on all of these are freaking amazing. Yeah. And I mean, it's like, oh man, I'm definitely working with this guy. And then after you told me, it's like, hey, listen, let's do this. I'm like, oh, damn straight. Okay, I'm definitely in on this. Okay, here we go.
Well, even the follow-up too. Remember when we came back and you were doing the editing and we did some back and forth about, you know, what are some ideas, some feedback we could help you with.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very, very good and professional process as well.
Yeah, it was really helpful. Yeah,
You know,
sure.
There
Sure.
was only two little things,
Yep.
and they were audible and they were taken out.
Yep.
But all the footage made it. I mean, from all the footage that you put up, so we're at our training camp, and everyone that came to training camp got to see the documentary because you sent me the video. So we're like, okay, let's watch this together and it was like, I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just going to say there was two little mistakes, or one mistake and one unvalidated comment that it was just best to leave out.
Okay. Yeah.
Nobody was cut out. Whoever Jon put in, he
Right.
told me different things. I'm like, you know what, Jon, if I'm around these people, shoot whoever you want. If there's someone that I thought that you need to stay away from, I would have never given them access to you.
No. Yeah, normally we expect a few politics to come into it.
Nothing. The only, like I said, there was one person made a comment. The comment went away, but the footage was still there, and there was one little snafu too. So, Fart Like the Wind says, "I'm not a fan of the show. I'm not a stalker. I am not." Documentary of America House. We'll talk about that in a moment.
There you go.
Oh, here we go. Okay. I'm not a fan of Woontang Mountain because Woontang ain't nothing to mess with, because now he's talking about the band.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Tim. I'm going to stay on you. Okay. All right.
There you go.
Richardson.
Yeah. Hopefully you felt really encouraged and able to interact with anybody, because you didn't feel any that anybody was off limits. Hopefully you felt that way, because that was what we wanted to make sure that you were comfortable.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
No,
it was great. And everybody, it was a great trip. I mean, it was so successful, that trip, really.
Yeah.
How many have you sold of it? You said it's one of your most successful, or
hard to say, but I know it's up there. It's up there as one of the most successful, definitely. It's hard to say now, because in the beginning we would just sell DVDs mostly, and it's easy to track DVDs.
Right.
Far harder to track streaming.
Yeah, or digital downloads and
downloads. Yeah.
Right.
And I would say that it's up there. It's definitely it stayed in the top three or four.
Even despite us.
Movies, yeah, sure. But interestingly enough, I know that it doesn't get. Yeah, there it is. Fighting Sticks of Arnis, 1895 for the download.
By all means, you should do. I cannot. I mean, it was funny. We did the. We went to. I'm gonna leave this up here. No shameless promotions. None. There's no shame here. I am shameless. So, and that's why your URL is underneath your name too. So, we were at the FMA festival that the late Sam Boat, my teacher's cousin, put on in Arizona, and we watched the documentary there in the penthouse. We were up there hanging out the suite, and Bobby's there. I mean, Bobby was the star of the show. I mean, he was in it to the point where some people think that I tried to promote them and rewrite Balintawak history. I'm like, no, I didn't do anything. I just, whoever was there was there. He
was there at the right time, is what I would say.
So
right time, right place.
Yeah.
Right time, right place.
So I mean, and listen, did it help that I was his friend and I wanted to? I mean, Absolutely. we all helped each other. We all helped each other. I could have just as easily went in a different direction. And not been around certain events. But the thing here is we are stronger together as a family. And I'm watching there, and Bobby, from what I understand, Bobby watched it like 10 or 20 times. And I've probably watched it similar because I'm around people and I'm showing it to people. Like, hey, we got to watch it. Oh, how do I get this? Well, here's the DVD. Here you go, right here. You can have us all sign it, or go get the digital download. So, and the thing, and then I'm always saying, like, listen, and look at the library. I mean, it's an extensive library. You've got, let me see here. I'm just looking down. You got Shrinji Kempo. You got Silat. The Fighter's Journey, Budo, Immortal Path, Fighting Sticks of Arnis, History of Budo, Warriors of Budo, Warriors of Budo. Actually, I think you sent me a bunch of these Warriors of Budo, which
That's the episode series. Yeah,
it's amazing. You know, you got Aikido, you've got Judo, you've got Kendo. And here's one you don't always see. Naginata, one you don't always see in line. So you get some really
not a very big seller.
Oh, okay. I'm partial to that. One of my good friends in martial arts, his brother is a very high level competitor, Naginata guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a friend of really a good Naginata guy, you know. Alex Bennett. I don't know if you know Alex Bennett. He actually runs the Naginata Federation.
Oh, wow.
On behalf of the Japanese.
Okay. He probably knows.
He organizes the world championships.
Excellent.
Alex.
Listen, here's what I say. You may not like the topic, okay? But you can't go wrong with any of these videos.
Yeah.
I mean, hands down, I've seen a bunch of them before I got to do this, and then I see this one a bunch of times. I cannot say it highly enough. This stuff is amazing. Like I said, you might not like the topic, but the quality of the production value, the talent of the people that are there, it's just amazing. I
think it puts the people that do the martial arts, whatever your style is, in a good light. And I think people need to see that. So that production quality, the commitment, bringing out, like you said, the feel of the people doing the stuff, that comes out really well. And I think, I think you've done all of the arts that you've covered a service. So that is really cool.
Well, I think the problem we have in martial arts is that we have too many people that will ignore all the martial arts except their own,
right?
To such an extent that it just becomes, it's nonsensical. It doesn't work because they're all connected. They're all much closer than we actually would wish to believe.
Right.
You know what I mean? Martial arts, you can only do certain things with the fists.
That's right.
But I did have a really good, I did an interview with Kendo World magazine. We're very big. They're probably one of the largest publications from out of Japan. And Alex Bennett is, I would probably easily not be wrong in saying, one of the most learned non-Japanese persons in the world of Japanese martial arts.
Awesome.
He knows everything. And so I did a sort of, just like we're doing now, actually, with them. And they asked me at this time, this is about 3 or 4 years ago, what was the number one, what was the best martial? And I said it was the Arnis movie.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Nice.
And they said, oh, really? Because I said, yeah, and by far. And I said, look, here's the thing, that if you're going to take up Kendo or a lot of the Japanese martial, it's just so damned expensive. The Kendo equipment is $2,000.
Right.
$2,000 minimum.
Oh my God. So I have a guy who teaches Kendo. He doesn't teach in my school. He's a Shrinji Kempo guy who also does Kendo for Buffalo. Okay. We talked about this. He knows one of his students has a rig that's $10K, and he knows another guy that has $15,000 in equipment. And it's not. This is my collection over the years. It's my fighting set is $15,000.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want everybody to stop calling. I can get one for $2,000. 2,000. It starts at 2,000 and goes higher. And I upset everybody at Kendo World because I said, for $5 you can start Arnis with a couple of sticks for $5.
Well, if you're in the Philippines, it's only like $1.
Well, yeah, exactly. My smoking sticks were about $1.50.
Yeah,
So what I'm saying is that's the problem. It's so much easier to just get a stick. If you want to do Berlin White, you don't have to buy one stick, and just go ahead. Yeah. Start practicing. Do some Sinawali. Go ahead. You're gonna go boom, and before you know it, you can be in a class with it. And this is the great thing about some martial arts, and they spread so quickly because of this. I'm sure Arnis, the great thing about Arnis is, I think it's spreading. I think it's probably one of the fastest spreading martial arts right now, I believe. Don't you think so? I see it cropping up in all sorts of countries.
And it could also because you've been exposed. Now you see it more often.
Maybe.
I think it's
taking notice of it. Yeah.
There's ebbs and flows. I think you'll see more people doing it. More people are promoting doing it. The problem is I see a lot of branches dead ending soon because they haven't set up their people to be able to carry it on past it. The problem with Filipino martial arts, it's not like Japanese and Chinese martial arts where it's handed down from generation to generation. A lot of these people they're the ones that made this stuff up right now.
Yeah.
The Johnny Ronnie, the guy you're wearing the shirt, he made his stuff up.
Yeah.
Bobby Tabuada is a third generation practitioner, but was alive while the Grandmaster the founder was still alive.
Back on. And so, that's that's a really great point, because the thing about the Japanese, which separates them from most other countries, especially China and Kung Fu, is that they took martial arts and they turned it into a curriculum for education in schools in Japan. Then they did it in a scientific manner. Then they sent their instructors out in the late 1950s, specifically to America, Europe, Britain, and they had a plan to do this. And their only problem is that they lost control, and now France is the #1 place for judo, blah blah blah, and they've lost control of all sorts of their martial arts, and now they're getting very upset about it. But you're right, and I think the problem with the Philippines is that there's probably a lack of control over the people teaching. Number one, in different countries, right?
Well, I mean, you saw it. I mean, how many people do we see living in the streets that don't have that education? And unfortunately, it's hard to put a syllabus together when you haven't been brought up in that environment. So let's get caught up. So right here, Craig said all of Jon's videos are the highest quality without a doubt. All right, so here's our okay. He's not our stalker. He's our comedian. Terrell sounds like a stalker. Hide the pet rabbit. I have a VCR. I convert it or L. Okay. Rent remembers to avoid rewind, please. I am a red belt in Nugi Noto, but Thai is an expert. Okay. I do sumo, but I spent a lot of diapers. Rebirth is just 2 hours. So I get this all the time. This is And then Matt Jones, I was just wondering
who's the bald guy in the middle.
LOL. Okay. All right. So a fart in the wind does that all the time. He's pretty good. So what's your next project?
Done.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what's happening. When the COVID hit, I had half a movie made in China, which was on Bagua and Xingyi, these internal arts, and we already did a half of the movie. I never went back and I fell out with China. I had a very big difference of opinion with a few people over there, especially what's happening in China. I'm very into human rights, things like this, and I started to get pretty upset, and so I never went back, and I gave the movie away for free. We edited half of the movie and we just put it out there. I think I put most of the movie on YouTube already. So China, probably never go back again. What's happening there isn't great. And what's happened to Shaolin Temple and Wudang Mountain is just awful what's been happening there. It's like Disneyland, It really ruined it over there. Shaolin Temple is just become it's a mockery. It really is. When I first went there, I went there in the mid 90s, In fact, I was in Shaolin Temple about 5 years after Tiananmen Square happened. Remember Tiananmen Square? So I was over there in about 94, my first trip. And it was magical, you know. It was this temple, you know, and you could go into the actual temple and see the Shaolin monks. And now it's just, they've got barriers and steel gates and Disney, and they've got coaches, bus coaches of tourists, you know, and Kung Fu tourism, it's called, you know.
Yeah. Actually, we know a friend of ours went over pre-COVID, Rondi McKee from White Tigers Taekwondo. She did the thing, and you know, it's definitely because it was hard for her. She goes, but you know, we've heard how commercialized it's become and stuff like that.
Even when last time I was there was 81. 81, it was still starting to do some of that.
That was a long time. You went to Shaolin Temple in 81?
No, I didn't get to see. That was before I was I started out in Kung Fu, right? But that was before I was really much into it. So, but I did see a lot of the countryside, a lot of the towns, a lot of the cities. And I saw some of that edging in, even like around the wall and whatnot. Yeah.
You see, I tell you another extremely successful movie we did, probably not far behind the Arnis movie, is Chen Village.
Oh, nice. Nice. A lot of good history there.
I went to Chen Village, and what a great movie that's been for us. That was, we were there only for 2 weeks, and it was a simple movie, but unique because not many people go to Chen Village.
Right.
And we had fantastic access. They just said, we'll allow you to do anything you want. So
that's perfect.
And that's been a really great movie.
The material there is amazing, but I'm biased because I'm a Chinese martial artist as well. So
sure, yeah, right. There's some great stuff there. You know, you've just got to filter out all the insane stuff in China. You know, but there's some. You know, Wudang Mountain is the same. I've been going to Wudang Mountain for almost 26 years, and it's changed so much. You know, just this all commercial situation. Right. You know, Kung Fu tourism, it's got crazy.
We see that in the Philippines too, though.
Yeah,
you do. Yeah.
Yeah. Or actually what it brings out is people who are not qualified to teach.
Right.
Here's the problem in the Philippines. Yeah. I'm going to tell you really what it boiled down to. Remy Pracis became the guy. Mm-hmm. The government sponsored him to go around the world, and Filipinos saw you could make money teaching Filipino martial arts. So anybody with a hunk or a tan thought, oh, I could do the same. And that's the problem when you go to Lynette at night. You get a lot of those people there.
Yeah, sure you do. Yeah, but that's happening all over in every martial arts. It's not just a Filipino thing, you know.
It's the price of success almost. So I guess it's in some ways a good thing, right? In some ways.
In some ways, yeah, sure.
Good thing about a McDojo school of a system. It means that the system has a lot of people doing it, at least, you know. You know, why would someone do a McDojo school on something you couldn't find, you know?
Right. That's not successful. Yeah,
right.
Sure.
I got to deal with my four-legged.
That's good. I got another
dog there.
That's right.
He's barking.
Maybe he's
coming over here. All right. My lap dog is 100. How much?
So I noticed you're going over to Brazil.
Yeah. Teaching down there.
Brazilian.
What?
My wife is from Brazil.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We're going to go to
here in Miami. Yeah.
We're going to go to Rio de Janeiro and San Pablo. So I'm teaching. I got guys down there I'm teaching with. Okay. Terrell Richardson asked about, I'm just throwing this out there. He talks about America House. So let me just talk about that, what that is. So
American House. Right.
Well, okay, there's the Russians do a thing called Russia House where they bring a bunch of masters to the Philippines, or in the Philippines, they bring everyone down there and they have all this stuff, but it's promoted for the Russians. And the Terrell kept calling, when are you going to do America House? I go, what do you mean America House? He goes, well, you keep saying that the Americans are just as good, if not better, teachers than the Filipinos. I'm like, well, we are. There's a lot of talented people, but we have an education system that we can draw from. And I feel that a lot of times I tell people in every martial art, if you're here in the States, we are so lucky. We don't have to go anywhere in the world. We can probably find the martial art we want here in our country. Mm-hmm. why would you go to the Philippines to work with certain individuals? But if you want to do Muay Thai, you don't go to Thailand. You find a Thai club nearby. You want to go. You want Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now, do you want to go to a training camp to tune your level up? That's another story.
Yeah, it's an experience. It's
I mean, listen,
different.
I felt more connected with what I do because of the trips we've been doing for years in the Philippines. Material-wise, Remy taught me everything I needed.
Yeah.
The quantity of material that I've learned from all the trips put together weren't enough to merit one trip. But I don't go there for material. I go there for the cultural aspect, getting back to my roots. So
connection. Yeah, the connection.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, here, let's see. I got some other.
Well, but I think that also kind of shines through in the way you teach. Surely, you know, that connection of going to the source, of being in the Philippines, does come through when you're teaching a class. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think, you know, I've been asked the question a number of times. Would I, you know, would it improve my karate if I went to Japan? Not really, but you'd improve as a person,
right?
You know, and that would come through in your teaching with how you, you know, that's you. It's not necessarily about finding technique at all. It's notice how the teacher teaches, notice the etiquette, notice the class, notice how the parents come with the kids, and you know, all this kind of thing. You know,
it's everything and nothing all at once.
Yeah.
You know, so here we go. So here's a Paquita Tertia guy, Coach Danny. What's he saying here? You talked me into downloading. He's downloading Fighting Sticks of Arnis as we speak.
Right. There you
as
go.
we speak. All right, here we go.
I can get breakfast tomorrow.
There we go. Good. A fart in the wind says they call me the Randy.
He means
Rodney.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, so wrong with it.
I get no respect.
Do they have a gift shop at the temple? I don't know. That's a good question.
Shaolin Temple?
Yeah.
Oh, they do,
absolutely. They have a hamburger.
Okay, well, there you go.
American hamburger restaurant now.
Is it possible to mix Modernese with praying mantis? And if yes, what would it look like? It would look like Thai.
That's a whole other discussion. But actually, I get accused of that too. I'll show something and they're like, "Oh, you're just doing your mantis again." It's really Modernese, but it blends together really well. And you'll watch me if you watch my videos. Check my power generation because I can't get rid of that.
Yeah. Coffee mugs. I trained with Shaolin monks. Then few blocks away, got knocked off half price, but the gift shop.
Right.
All right, Tim's getting an official Brazilian bikini. Stop it.
Yeah.
Who told you? Okay, and then the strongest instructors are in the States, but the cultural missing most. Yes, exactly, and that's it.
That's what we just talked about, right?
I've read that as strangest instructors. But,
well, it could be that too. Yeah. That could be too.
Yeah. That's understandable.
So anyways, Terrell was talking about what we're doing is we're doing our own camp here in the States where it's all about people who were taught here. Now they can be Filipino because I've got a couple Filipinos in the front, but we're doing an event here. We're actually doing the Can-Am Martial Art Can-Am FMA Festival. We're gonna be bringing it into Buffalo again, and it's like the fourth or fifth one we've done.
Is this what we're talking about, the American House?
Yeah, that's what the whole thing about America House. I'm like, what are you talking about America House? You know, and it's just like, so it was just the whole thing about Russia House. Russia House is not taught by the Russians. There's one Russian who teaches, but it's hosted by the Russians. You know,
and this is just Filipino martial arts, right?
Yeah, this is only Filipino martial arts. So in the one in the Philippines, Mal Morney will go over, so he does CLAP, but for the most part, it's all the FMA guys. Alexander Pizarkin, I think, is the one who hosts it. So Terrell's been always saying, well, when are you going to do something for the Americans, or I'm going to say the North Americans? So we're promoting an event. And that's what he was saying. Well, hey, maybe John will come and do that. I'm like, it's a weekend camp or seminar. It's not the same thing. I mean, you dug in, but you know, what obviously, since Terrell brought up, if that's something you feel like doing, let me know.
What date are you thinking?
It's going to be in 2024. We got
next year,
maybe later. Because I'm also hosting the World Filipino Martial Arts Championships, so that's next year, and it's going to be a pain in the ass.
That's a competition.
It's a camp and a competition.
How do they do the competition? With-
They're gonna do. We're gonna be doing
set of
point style
rules.
fighting. What?
How do the rules work in the competition?
You know, we'll be using a padded stick, and it's
Okay,
kind of,
padded stick.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We're not gonna do live. It's too problematic.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me see the strongest.
There's a kendo where they have a big padded stick. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen it?
Oh, when they do the chambara.
Mm.
Okay.
Big padded
So
stick.
a lot of our trained. Yes, a lot of us are trained. Then Renee from Canada says bonjour. In Russia, house trains you. In Russian house trains. Okay. Competition in 3 stages. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we covered a lot today.
Yeah. So
I had one last thing, which was
Okay.
so for John, thinking back to the video for the Arnis video, I was wondering if you had some, as you periodically probably look through it every once in a while, what are some of your favorite locations or memories from it, or even, if you will, and I don't know that there are any, but people always wonder about Easter eggs, right, for people that are making things. So anything you want to, along either of those lines, that you want to talk about?
well, I I think, excuse me, I think the Tim mentioned on the way back from the festival, we were in Luneta. I think that the last class with Dagu, with Master Riddell, Dagu was interesting. It was a really great class. People were in uniforms. Do you remember that? They had those red uniforms and things. And it looked so much, very structured, but really just really freewheeling, free swinging. And I'll tell you an interesting thing on these little shorts. This old guy wandered into the Riddell class.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we know him.
Yes.
You know him?
Yes. As a matter of fact, that has 1.1 million views.
Yep.
The one I just did.
Yes.
The
guy with the double. He's missing a thumb.
Yeah.
He does the double. Yeah. No. We've known him for years. We always make a donation of some sort.
Grandmaster Roger, right?
Grandmaster Roger.
Yep.
And the reason I made that little clip of him wandering into, the Riddell class is because that, to me, kind of epitomized the Luneta kind of thing, what was happening, and I think it's unique. I think it's something to cherish. I think the Luneta part was fantastic.
There he is.
Yes, there it is. Yeah.
And nice guy too. Super nice.
Oh
guy.
no, he's good friends with.
There you were.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hi in the back.
Yeah, he's very good friends with Riddell.
Yep. And there's Craig.
And I just made I think it's like 30 seconds, this clip.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then at the end, look, goodbye.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, Grandmaster Roger's a nice guy.
Yeah, so I think, look, there's so much great footage from that trip in the Philippines, I could make 100, 200, and 300 of those clips.
Awesome.
Keep doing that, because there's so many memorable, things. I think that the Luneta was fantastic. The people just wandering around. I think that Nickel Sticks, to find that place, it looked like, it looked like a hurricane had hit, and they put tarpaulin over a chicken coop or something, and then you walk in, and the first thing I saw were these rubber tires stacked up, and everything. And then this is, to me, the great thing about martial arts, because there you've got, wow, some fantastic Filipino martial arts inside this place, Yep. That to me is, I thought the filming inside Nickel Sticks was great because it was just so real.
Yeah.
So real, unfiltered, no pretense. You got girls there, Filipino girls coming in, and just people sat around.
And I got to tell everybody, this was such an organic thing because there was no rehearsal, no nothing.
Right.
We roll in, and oh, by the way, John's here with me.
Yeah.
That's how it was. And everyone was like, yeah,
Okay.
let's do this.
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Let's do it.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
Very, very open. And I
Right.
think Nick, Neil Elazar,
Neil.
he gave you some drone footage or something too.
Neil was great.
Yeah.
He was great. I said to him, I had a drone, and
you had the drone. Okay.
I didn't take it to the Philippines, and I approached him and I said, listen, I would love some of that drone footage.
That's beautiful.
And
too.
guess what? He got the drone footage to me, and it really makes the film. It really cuts.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. It's oh my God.
Isn't that fantastic? The drone footage.
But that's the kind of open sharing that I think, that people, and I think comes across really well in the film. People are sharing their love for the stuff.
I think that the strength of Filipino martial arts is also its weakness, and vice versa.
So
we don't have that cultural. We don't have that structure. That hierarchy in Filipino martial arts, and when you train, it's like you're part of the family. And there's I think they need to be a little less informal. I think would go a long way.
Yeah, well, you've got to look at how the Japanese run their martial and the federations that are in place in Japan. And they're having problems there. Listen, they didn't find it so perfect recently. They're losing a little bit of control. That's
it's that balancing act you have to have between structure and I mean you want people to, if people don't feel comfortable and welcome there, they're going to leave. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think sometimes in Filipino martial arts they're meant to feel too welcome. Now,
well, yeah, I mean that's the big difference, because you if, for example, if you do karate in America or England, and even if you've been training 10, 15, you can't just go to Japan and train. You can't walk into a dojo and train. You've got to get invited, and you have to get permission, and they want to interview you. It's amazing, Still today, it's still like this today. Wow. It's.
Well, Ty, did you have anything else?
No, I just wanted to see if you had any things you wanted to pull out.
I got one question, which has nothing to do about what we've done. But John, do you have anything that you want to talk about before we go?
No, I think that just embrace martial arts. That's it. Don't be blind. It's all good,
So what's because of course I started checking you out when you were.
And by the way, I'm just interrupting you here, but I'm a big believer, not just martial arts. I've looked at a lot of Buddhist practices and Zen. Looked at the spiritual side. It's a big part of what I like as well in martial arts. Just don't go for the physical. Look after the mind and body.
Yeah.
So
what is Harajuku? Harajuku?
The Harajuku levels.
Yes. I'll show you this to you. So Ty's like, this is on Empty Mind Films, and I've been meaning to ask you about this.
Harajuku is a small area in Tokyo, which is insane. It's a fashion neighborhood, right? And it's on the edge of a park. And every Sunday at the week, this is Harajuku, and it's full of these young kids. The Japanese kids that you see that are really crazy. They dress crazy and they act really crazy, And of
course, my bandwidth is dying at the moment.
Right, sure, because you're doing a live feed here. So the Harajuku levels are some 19 sort of they do rock and roll from that's 1950s, 1960s rock and roll.
Nice.
And is it playing yet?
It's trying. I got the photo came up finally, so it looks like a lot of elevators.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
there they are, and it's a lot of fun. And it's this is when you see the Japanese kind of let their hair down, and
it looks like they put their hair up.
Put their hair up, yeah. Right. Well, they put a lot of grease in the hair.
Right.
So make sure you go Empty Mind Films on YouTube as well, because John's got a lot of little gems hidden around here.
Oh yeah.
Let Of course, then I put that down. Now it pops up. So, boom. So from Portland, Oregon, Eric says, great show. Danny Terrell, for large growth and structures needed, curriculum is needed, ranking system following. Yep, exactly. And then, may I share an amazing sword dancing video? Okay, all right. So when Renee actually was talking earlier about the competition, that there's 3 stages of competition. So stage 1 is swimwear, stage 2 is dance, and stage 3 is a song. So yeah, these are the people that we deal with on a regular basis here.
Well,
And I know a bunch of them in person. So so this, John, I'm glad we could have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
I think this is a hidden gem.
Good seeing you guys.
Hopefully not too hidden. It's like a reunion, John. Thank you. It's good seeing you.
And listen, if you want to do offer some of your viewers, I'm willing to do a discount coupon on the movie.
Okay.
So give you guys, whatever 25% off or something. So if you get everybody's that's been watching tonight their email addresses.
Okay, so if you heard him, he'll give you a discount code. Send me datutim@gmail.com. Here, I'm going to put it up right now. And I will forward this all to John. You've got till next week, Wednesday, and then I'll send the list out because I know it's Easter weekend. Right. But actually, the quicker, the better.
We'll give everybody a discount code. Yeah.
That's very nice, John. I appreciate that.
No
I
problem.
think you share that love of all the martial arts, and that's why it works for you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I want to thank you because it's we were part of history. This is your video is it stands the test of time. I mean, 2016 is when we did this, and it's still out there.
Yeah.
Still going strong.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I'll say, well, what's Renee here?
Well, I mean, I've seen in the videos we've made so many of the masters pass away, in the last few years. And thank God, we got some. I missed a few by just a few months. It's an incredible idea that happened. So, but you've got to make these movies. You've got to put them down into posterity, and then they live on.
Yeah, we've missed some people by months ourselves going over there, and it's a shame. Well, listen, John, thanks for coming on the show. I'll put this information out, and obviously, I know I usually like once a year I say hello or something, so I'll keep dropping lines.
Well, I can't believe you know about the YouTube stuff that's happening and all this stuff. That's great. That's great.
Yep.
Another way of getting stuff out there.
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
Listen, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's been great fun. Great fun.
Great. All right. So we're gonna wrap up, John. Thank you for popping out.
Send out the email, and we'll send everybody a coupon. Okay.
Excellent.
That's
very
awesome.
good, sir.
You.
Bye, guys. Bye. Nice to see you, Ty. Bye, Tim. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Very cool. That was like a mini reunion there. Good catching up with him.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. So, wow, guys, that was great. Sorry, Danny, but it's only a couple bucks. You'll get over it. Maybe I'll let you buy another video. He's got a lot of them out there. That's amazing.
I'll buy you donuts when I'm at the next camp I can make.
Okay, I got Phil. Great show. Thanks, gents. Phil, ruler of heck.
Okay. Thanks, Phil.
I wonder who that is.
I like it though.
Good show. We've been having like 18 people throughout the show. People coming and going. And I wish I dropped the ball with getting the word out there. But Dean Branco let me put it on FMA discussion today.
Perfect.
I gotta talk to him about some things with that as well. Then we're gonna be on his show, or not we. I'm gonna be on his show. We're talking about the symposium in a couple of weeks, the FMA invasion.
Right.
So Terry Dow and I are going to be on there, so we'll talk about that. So everybody, this weekend is the spring fling It's in what park in Fairfax?
Providence Park.
Providence Park. And what time do you start?
9 a.m. to 6 p.m. ish, depending on how many people there are. Yep.
I mean, it goes shorter, goes longer, whatever.
Yeah, we'll have food. We'll have good times. There'll be time to visit in between each session.
There we go. And then, hey, he gets his. There we go.
There you go.
Great show. And then I have the Buffalo Niagara Martial Art Festival #4 the following weekend. It's the 15th of April. Next year, it's going to go to March, and it'll be a 2-day event. And then we have the symposium the weekend after that. I think it's like the 23rd-ish, I want to say.
Sounds right.
And then the weekend after that, I have a free weekend. And then the first weekend of May, 5, 6, 7, that is our spring camp.
The big camp, yep.
Yeah, we have some great. We have a great lineup. You know, we got the board, the senior board members along with myself. We've got Micah May Williams doing special sessions on CLOT. I got Master Dominic Violante. He's doing Tempo and Aikido. And for those who are interested in doing, I've got Master Michael Perry. He is the COO of Chief Operating. I'm saying it Filipino wise. Chief Operating Officer of MAIA, the Martial Art Industry Association. He's going to be doing an event prior to the camp here, which is a business session, and then he's going to do like an hour lunch with us. And he's there to train with us. He's training with us. He's attending our camp.
That's
really
good.
He's going to do a lunchtime session for the school owners, and his thing is going to be the business of martial arts.
That's perfect.
So
we always use help, yeah.
Whether or not you're doing this, even if you're doing this as, and I'm not saying a 501(c), but if you're doing this non-for-profit, you just do this for the love of the art, you still need to do things like how do you get people in? If you've got to pay rent for something, that means you need to collect money. And how do you do things of that name? And I mean, you know, Ty, he's very fortunate. He does it in the park, just like the way the Filipinos do. But if he was any farther north, he might have to look at getting a facility.
Right.
Because of the elements, you know. Just because he'll do Tai Chi and Arnis in the snow doesn't mean everyone else is going to do that.
We weed people out that way. No, and did you see that? I think you knew Dominic just got recently promoted. So that's pretty cool too.
I knew that was coming down the pipeline, but I wasn't going to say anything. Cool.
So yeah, he posted recently.
GM.
Well, I don't know how they work it, but yeah, 9th degree. Yep. So congratulations, Dominic.
That's awesome. And then we'll be doing a raffle at the camp. I got some things they're door prizes. No one's paying for anything. It's just something I'm doing. Let me see here. So do I need check baggage? I'll see. So people ask me about stuff for bringing stuff to the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
How do I bring stuff? I go, okay, so if you're traveling by plane anywhere, this is real simple. People sit there and say, how do you take your stuff with you? I put it in a bag and check my luggage. That's it. There's no secret. There is no secret.
No, well, there is one secret. Bring a bigger bag than you need.
Well, there's the other one. Yes.
So you can take stuff back.
If you're bringing stuff back, but or buy a bag while you're there.
Sure.
But people always ask me, they you know, if I pack, I've begun to dial down what I pack with me now.
Right.
But I used to pack crazy, and I've got my big ass duffel bag with all my swords and my knives and all this other stuff. They go, how the hell do you get that in the plane? I go, I check it in. I've been to 17 countries teaching.
Right.
I do the same thing all the time. You check your luggage. You do not.
That's what we did with our bags of weapon on the way back. It was bags checked because it was better than shipping.
Oh shit! I had more, and actually paid $100 for the overweight fee. I had enough hardware to arm a platoon.
Yep.
So that's the key. All you got to do is check your bags. That's it. Now, you know, you might have to pay extra for weight, and there's some other little tricks when you're coming out of those countries. But going there, if you're bringing a pair of sticks and aluminum trainer with you, which by the thing, if you're going to the Philippines, bring your own sticks. Bring your own training. I mean, you can buy a training knife there. Bring your own sticks and buy whatever else you want there. Because the problem is they put a lacquer on it and it never really dries. It's too humid over there. And it tears your hands up. And then they're all saying, well, I thought you were big, tough guys. I go, you're giving me, or if you do that, bring a thing of electrical tape and wrap your sticks. Because once you do that, it fixes it.
Yep.
So I don't have a topic for next week's show.
Okay.
We'll come up with a topic.
We'll make something up.
Yeah, we always do. It'll be the rant show.
It could be that. Yeah.
Could easily be that. I got a few rants. Is it a camp if it's only a 1-day event?
Did you sleep during the day?
No. Uh-oh.
FMA Invasion. We need an FMA Invasion show. That's true.
We could do that.
He just wants to be on the show again so he can take over.
He just wants to be on the show.
There you go.
That's all he wants to do. Don't let anyone fool you.
There are worse problems.
See, I created a monster with him. And that's the whole thing is he just wants your job.
He can have it with the pay even.
Oh, here we go. Rocky missed the show. Okay.
Well, Rocky.
You can watch the rebroadcast. Is there camp? Is it
nice? That was smooth.
1 day is not a camp. Thank you, Danny.
Right.
I'm taking a shot at somebody.
Well, it's true though. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Were you camping in the first place? No. I used to do training camp outs. We would actually literally camp in the forest for two nights and train during the night. So there was no sleep. You get sleep when you get home.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with There's nothing. Man, my system is definitely jacking up. I don't know what's going on. I mean, evidently the show is working fine.
It is. Yeah. So as we're winding up, as he's figuring that out, guys, any last minute go backs or questions? Because we're about ready to wrap up.
Yeah. Let me see. I was kind of wondering.
That's what I was thinking, right, Rocky? One day could be a camp if you have nappy time.
Oh no, we've been invaded.
Oh no. Okay. Dang.
Okay.
Short. We're doing this really short, but I figured I'd bring on.
I was just,
replacement.
I was
recruit.
Generally concerned how Ty felt. I want that to be known. And okay.
For sure.
Yeah,
I like how we signed in.
It was good to see you. I did watch a little bit. I watched a little bit while you guys were on there, and it was good to see you on there. So all good, man.
Yeah, no, but it was fun. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, hey, I shouldn't say I was under impression, but I thought we were going to do an FMA invasion or no?
We should, maybe we'll just do it next week. How's that? FMA invasion.
Okay.
I'll see who I can get on board. We need to do it fast.
Yeah, that's right. We should get a few people.
All right, FMA invasion. That's an easy one. I can do that. I can put up the flyer tomorrow. Easy.
So it's going to be Mike or potentially Mike?
May. The hell with anyone else? Just like FMA Talk. There
you go.
I'll see if I can get Jason and I on. See if he's got time.
Right?
Cool. Yeah.
Steve, right?
That's like pulling teeth for Steve. But
Steve,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
I haven't talked to Jason for a
billion
years. 8:30, man.
Always 8:30. Do they do camp 2 camp? No, they got rid of 2-week camps a while ago.
Unfortunately, yeah. Well,
all right.
If we do one in the Philippines, it'll be almost a week, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, and Datu, I need test run for Thursday at 10. Yeah, I mean, if Terry can't do it, I suppose I could just do it with you.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think he could do it. I think we can both do it at 10 on Thursday.
No, that's the episode. But I was speaking in terms of the test run.
Oh, do you want it? Well, like tomorrow or Wednesday?
That's fine with me. Yeah, I'll mention it to him again and just see what works for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think we agreed that whatever it is, it's fine. But
yeah.
Oh, this one time in band camp? Yeah, okay. Figures you'd have this one time in band camp. So cool. All right. Well, I thought I knew Dean wanted to say something to Ty, so he didn't feel too emasculate you. Is that what the deal?
No, it was interesting. Is all, but it kind of gave me an idea, like if I'm doing a show, could call upon one of you guys to, hey, you want to come on? So,
Dean,
but yeah.
I'll be available for the test run. There we go. That's
There
what
you go.
Renee
Put Renee
says.
on there.
That has nothing to do with the show, but he'll be part of it.
Yeah, actually.
He's more like an infection than an invasion. Oh, but bump.
Yeah. It's unfortunately. I don't even
Sorry,
think.
Renee.
I gotta get him back on. He's fun.
He is.
Yeah. So.
Cool.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys bringing me on. I know you guys are probably.
Yeah, we're heading out.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. So I'll send a group message, and we'll pick a time for a test run.
So thanks for popping on, because Monday night will be the FMA invasion.
There we go.
All right, brother Dean. We will see you later.
All right, guys.
All right. Ciao.
Very cool.
Okay, so now we can say goodbye.
This is a visit, but see, this is a visit. That's why it works, right? We're just visiting, hanging out, talking to folks.
Oh, the rubber chicken invasion. Yeah, something like that. But
there you
different.
go.
Where is Dean's weak sword rack?
Oh, that's because he's using those other swords. That's why they're not in there.
Yeah, it is. Well, I don't want to take a shot at where he got the swords from, but he didn't get them from us. That was the problem. All right, listen. So next week will be the FMA invasion.
Yep.
Thanks to Brother Dean to help us remind us of that. Once again, get me those emails. I will get that out there. And Terrell, Danny, there's plenty of other videos. If you like multiple martial arts, you should look at the library. Maybe he'll give you 25% off of one of the other purchases. Amazing library. It's a shame he's not filming anything. But then again, who knows? Maybe he's just a little fed up with that kind of stuff, and he doesn't see maybe the topics that he was looking at doing are in the countries that have these issues.
Well, since the Arnis one did so well, maybe we should just say, hey, why don't you just join us on the next trip? It was a lot of fun.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Or America House.
Or that, yeah.
Because I like, when they did the bladed hand, I think Jay Ignacio, when he went around, he did something at John's house.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, John helped Shelly Millspawn, all those went out to Virginia, and then he did his basement workout, which started the whole thing for the gatherings.
That's right.
That
was just before I started getting out in the public again.
And Jay Ignacio made the comment to all the guys there that those West Coast guys got to look over their shoulder. It's like, no, they got to look at our backside, because
it's already done.
Already done. There's no listen, it's called FMA in the state USA, period. No side has it over the other. There's just a higher concentration of them over there. We were encouraged to actually, I think the East Coast does better because we're far enough away from each other that we don't feed off of each other in that kind of way. And actually we seem to have a vibe that we're all like working with each other. And that was prior to COVID.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, everybody, always a pleasure. Love having my man on here, my phenomenal co-host. I don't know where he is, but you're here in the time being. So, no, it's the Dean left, you see? So,
Oh, you mean this guy? This guy.
So, there we go. Is that Dean?
I don't know who that is.
All right. But as always, it's a pleasure always doing this. Hopefully I'll see. Okay. So the secret's out. I will be at Ty's event this Saturday.
What?
Yes, I will be there.
Good deal. Good. Okay. I got something for you.
How many people are listening now? No one's listening.
That's right. They're all gone. They went to sleep.
Yeah, there we go. So we'll see who knows. I'll probably roll in around 10 o'clock. It depends on when Janice and I get down there and do stuff like that. So as always, it's a pleasure to do this. Everybody, please stay safe and stay sane. This is Datu Tim.
BG Ty. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
All right. Ciao.